Hey guys, good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope everybody's doing well today. This is just a very short, quick word that the Lord brought back to me this morning from an experience I had when I was in Israel. And I just know that this is going to bless somebody or be an answer or a confirmation to someone. Take the word to God, take me to God. God doesn't always speak to me through dreams. A lot of the times it's through real life experiences. I can hear his voice. He speaks to us in different ways. But I always tell you guys, I look for him in everything, especially when I know that the experience is not the norm, right? And when I hit those experiences, I'm like, God, what is this? Or once it happens, I'm like, my face is itching, Holy Spirit. Once it happens, I'm like, okay, I see what you were doing here. So this was one of those instances where all I could say was, God, I see what you're doing here. So in Israel, guys, as we were preparing to leave Israel, many of you know my job, the company I work for, flew myself and two of my female coworkers to Israel. I'm in Texas. One of my coworkers is in Arizona. One is in Florida, right? So we all flew from Miami Airport to Israel. And when we were flying back from Israel, we had to fly to Miami and then we flew to our separate destinations. The one who lived in Florida, she just went home, but Miami was like the connection to and from Israel. So our flights to Israel were together, our flights home were together. And this was all of our first time. This wasn't our first time being out of the country. I don't think it was their first time being out of the country. I've been out of the country before, just not this far. So we knew to stick together. Okay. And we learned this early on because Israel's security does not play. So even leaving from Miami airport, we felt like we were being interrogated by the FBI. Okay. That's how like stern Israel's security is. And they have every right to be very, aggressive when it comes to making sure that whoever's entering Israel is legit. Like they're not there to harm their country. So I get it because people coming from different countries into America, like our security is the same way. But I had never had to go through this before. So we knew early on to stick together. Once we were at Miami Airport, going through Israel security there was it was a lot. Again, we felt like we were being interrogated, like we had committed a murder and we were being interrogated, right? So we learned early on to stick together. Even in that process, we were texting, we were calling each other, making sure one another, like each of us were, and excuse, I haven't had breakfast or anything. It's still super early. We were making sure each one of us were in the right place, boarding the flight, everything was okay. If one needed help, then we would get off the flight. We just stayed in communication to make sure that we boarded that flight together and that we were on that flight together and we got off that flight together because, again, we're going to another country. We didn't have time for games. Like you have to really, as an adult, okay, as the adults that we are, you have to be vigilant, pay attention, and maintain your safety. People leave out of the country and they don't come back, okay? That's a known fact. People go on cruises and they don't come back. So we're just very careful with one another. So we flew to Israel. Security was a bit harsh, but it was cool. God did his thing, got on the flight, had a grand time there, stayed there for 5 days, flew home, right? On our way to the airport to fly back to Florida, we knew security in Israel was going to be something else, right? Because we're in Israel. It was harsh when we were in Florida flying to Israel. Now we're actually in the country trying to fly back. So yeah, we knew it was going to be a bit iffy, right? So we had to go through all these security, proceedings and processes and the whole nine, right? The last step after going through all the questions and being evaluated in the whole nine is to go through what do you call it? Like actual security, where they check your bags, your carry-ons, your purse, all of that stuff, right? That's the last step. After you go through security, the last step is going through security. Okay. And this again is when you normally take off your shoes, your jewelry, put your bags in the little crates, you push them through the little whatever security check thing, you know, the whole nine that you normally do at the airport. That was the last step. So to get to this step, we had to walk to the security team, right? And as we all approach them, they look at all three of us and they're like, you two go this way, you go this way, okay? I was the you that was going this way, okay? The you that was going to the left by myself, okay? I'm sorry, no, to the right. So they were telling me to go to the right by myself, and those two, my other two coworkers, to go to the left. So we look at them and we look at each other and we're like, no, we want to stay together, right? We want to go through security together. We're flying out together. Like we're all Americans. Like we want to be near one another to make sure everything's okay. They weren't having it. The guy said again, you two go to the left. She needs to go to the right. I was the she by herself that needed to go to the right. So we asked him, you know, why do we need to separate? And he would not answer us. He just said, you two go this way, you go this way. Very stern, straight face, would not answer, right? So they go the other way and they're like telling me, Nina, we'll FaceTime you. You want us to FaceTime you so we can make sure you're okay? I'm like, no, I'm good. Just let me know when you guys go through. I'll let you know when I get through, right? So we can meet and head to our gate. They leave and I go my own way. And the whole time I'm like talking to the Lord because I'm like, well, what is going on, Lord? Like, why am I going this way by myself? Like, what's happening? And keep in mind, I'm in another country. So this is pretty scary for me, okay? Hold on, guys. Let me turn on the fan. Hold on. I'm going to actually hold up right here. Ew, I burned my breakfast. Wow. Okay, I'm cooking breakfast, guys. So I had to put you guys on a hold and I got hot. But as I'm walking by myself through what seemed like this freaking long pathway, I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm like, you know, Lord, you got me, right? I get to the security check, guys. I put my bag on the little thing to go through. I'm like, do I need to take off my jewelry? Like, what do I need to do? He's like, you don't need to take off nothing. Just walk straight through the security little, you know, like the little hedgeway, like the door that you walk through that we normally go through at the airport and we have to lift our hands like this. He's like, just walk straight through that. He's like, put your bags here, it'll go through. Don't take off your shoes, don't do anything, just walk through. So I walked through and I'm thinking there's more steps because this was all too easy. Put my bag on the little conveyor belt that takes it through a security scan and walk through. I don't even have to put my hands up, just walk through a security thing. I'm like, okay. So I did that, but I'm like, okay, what now? He's like, you're done. Just go. He's like, grab your bag and go to your gate. So I'm like, never have I ever went through a security scan that was that quick, guys, where I didn't have to take off shoes, socks, earrings, nothing. I can keep on my jacket, everything, walk through this little thing and call it a day. And I was done with security. Never. There wasn't even a line, guys. It was such a quick process. It took me literally less than 2 minutes to get this stuff done. And you know, normally at any airport, you're in a huge line. It takes forever. Everyone has to take off their stuff. They're taking off earrings, cell phones, put this in one bin, put your bag in another bin, the whole nine. Nothing. Put your bag on the conveyor belt, walk through. Don't have to lift your hands up. You're good. Grab your bag and go. Okay? Super easy. So I'm like, wow. Okay, that wasn't bad. So I find my way to the little there's shops and stuff because we still have time to, you know, get some souvenirs and stuff in the airport before we head to our gate. We had like maybe 45 minutes to an hour left, right? So I'm texting my two coworkers. I'm like, where are you guys? I'm done. Guys, security pulled them into a room. One is being questioned. One is being pat down. They're going through the whole works with these two, right? And I'm like, wow. They're like, Nina, you're already out. I'm like, yeah, it only took me like a minute or so. They are being questioned, pat down, taken off clothes, being searched, the whole nine, guys. It literally took them about 30 minutes or more to get through security because they were being interrogated, questioned, the whole nine, okay? It took them a minute. By the time they got through, it was literally time to board. They only had like 10 minutes to grab food and souvenirs and board. By that time, I had shopped in the airport. I had purchased souvenirs, the whole nine, okay? I had a ton of time to do what I needed to do. They only had a few minutes because they were questioned for so long and they literally went through a brutal interrogation process, okay, to say the least. So they weren't happy when they came through and they couldn't believe that it was so easy for me to get through. Guys, moral of the story and what the Lord spoke to me about it is that many of you are at a crossroad where you have to separate from people that you came with, okay? You may have to separate from people that have been there for you, from people that God has had you connected to, okay? And it may seem scary because you're like, I don't want to relocate. I don't want to go this way by myself. I don't want to take this job and not be around the people I'm familiar with. I don't want to be by myself, Lord. Like, this is scary. I'm in an unfamiliar place. Just like myself, I was in a country I had never been in before. Okay, I was far away from home. Y'all better catch this spiritually. If God is separating you at this point, it's to favor you. Okay, he's putting you in a position of favor, and what they're about to go through is going to be harder than what you're going through. Okay, the way he's sending you, it's with ease. Okay, you're going to get through with ease, and it's going to be a quick process if you just listen. Just like this guy at the airport, I'm like, why do we have to separate? He didn't answer me. God is saying he does not have to answer you and tell you why he's telling you to go in a certain direction. But if you trust him, you will understand exactly why he had to separate you from what you were familiar with, from the people that you came with, from the people that you've known, okay, from the people that you're comfortable with. You're going to come to an understanding exactly why. I got through with quickness, with ease. I had nobody patting me down. I had time to shop and enjoy myself before getting on my flight. They had to get through the pat down, security, FBI interrogation. They had to rush to get souvenirs before we got on the flight, and then we had to rush to the flight, okay? God is telling you to separate because he's trying to favor you. He's trying to show you favor. He's trying to take you the easy route, and who you came with, you can't leave with them, okay? He has you going in a different direction for purpose. It may seem scary. Yes, you have to do it by yourself, okay? But at the end of the day, you're going to look back and say, oh, I see why I had to go this route and why I couldn't stay with the familiar, in the familiar, why I couldn't stay in a comfortable space. God was my protector in that airport. Nothing was going to happen to me. I just had to trust him. I just had to trust him. Even in the unfamiliar, I'm by myself, don't know what's about to happen. He knew, and he knew he was going to show me favor in the situation. So somebody needed to hear this, guys. I felt led to release this morning. I hope that this is confirmation for somebody. Whatever God is telling you to do, and you're like, I don't want to do this by myself. Like, I'm in an unfamiliar place, Lord. Like, at least if we're together, we can get lost together. Nah, God is saying the same way he led the Israelites and Moses, okay, to freedom and out of bondage and captivity, okay, and he parted the Red Seas for them, he'll do the same for you, okay? The enemies you see today, you will see no more, okay? He got you. Trust his leading. Trust his leading. Whatever he's telling you to do, whoever this word is for, trust his leading. That is the word, guys. I'm hungry, so I'm about to eat breakfast. I love you. Have a blessed day, guys. Bye.